Friends, it looks like we're live, but of course, there's always a little bit of delay. So I am just going to wait for my laptop and my phone to catch up with me here and let me know I am actually live. I'll do a little refresh. There we go. Okay, I see me now. Yay. All right. Well, hi, everyone. I'm going to click and make sure that I can see the live chat. And we've got okay. All right. I am seeing comments. I am seeing that I'm live. So, uh, welcome to Tuesday Card Making Live. It's been a couple of weeks since I have been here with you guys, so I'm excited to hang out with you today. We are going to create a fun summary card with the Sunshine on My Mind stamp stencil die set. I'm also going to use one of our 6x6 papers from the paper collection. So this set has released already because it matches and coordinates with one of our paper collections. We are doing a more card making based release with it. It will be part of our June release, although it's technically already in our shop. But we thought we might as well start sharing it now because you can already purchase it, or maybe you already have, and you might want some inspiration with it. So we'll take a closer look at it when I get the camera flipped around. But before we get going on that, I want to just first off say hi and welcome. We're so glad that you're here. If you're new to our lives, we're so glad that you found us. Once I flip the camera around, I don't see as many comments come through. So we would love to hear if you're new or if this is a first time joining one of our lives. I may not see it once I'm creating, but Heather Hoffman is in the comments. She is the person typing underneath Pinkfresh Studio name. And she's really good about seeing everything that I miss once I start creating. So this is a big blanket welcome to everyone, new, veteran, live watcher. We're just really happy that you're here. Now, we do give away a $15 gift card code at the end of every live. So there's a couple of ways to enter to win that. First, underneath the video, there's a little button that has an arrow and it says share next to it. If you could hit that button and share it somewhere. So you could share it directly to your Facebook page. You could share it in Instagram stories. If you have like a DM or a crafty message, or an email message with crafty friends, that's a great place. Finally, there are a lot of crafty groups on Facebook, and you can share in those as long as it's permitted. Some have rules against that, so just make sure you know the rules of the crafty groups that you frequent. Come back in the comments, let us know you shared, and that is an extra entry into the giveaway. Other than that, just chat with us in the live chat. All comments and etc. in the live chat are entries, and Heather will randomly pick a winner for that gift card code at the end of the live stream. So that's how you would enter to win. I try to watch comments as much as I can when I'm creating, but like I mentioned, I don't catch them all. So, but Heather is really good about answering questions that I missed. And also your fellow live viewers are also really good. So a lot of people will answer questions if they know the answers. All right, I see we have quite a few people here. So looks like we are, and welcome Edith. I see we've got someone who's new today. So happy to have you here. Okay. So, one final thing before we get this camera flipped around and we start going. This is not an extra entry into the giveaway. Something that we would love for you to do is to give the video a thumbs up. This helps the video's reach both now and when it's on replay. And because we are now sending the emails to a smaller group of people, because we are trying not to bog down people's emails as much, we're only sending to the people that have confirmed yes, that they do want to receive the emails. It's really helpful if you can help us with the read. So we really, really do appreciate that. So thumbs up. We appreciate that. All right. We should probably get going. I'm going to put a couple of the things on my desktop so we have something to look at when I get the camera switched around. But let's go ahead and get continuing on our card today. Oh, I see lots more people joining in. Hi, Donna. Hi, Joan. So glad you're all here. I'm so happy to be with you here today on this Tuesday live. Okay, bear with me while I do the camera switch and we'll get going. Okay, there we go. It was taking its sweet time, so I was worried that it was not going to work out for me, but there we go. We are switched over to the camera. I am just making sure that it switches over from my view on my phone. It's got a pretty big delay on my laptop and phone today. So, but these are the products that we are going to use today. So this is the Sunshine on My Mind stamp, stencil, and die set. And I am going to use one of the fantastic pattern papers from the 6x6 paper pad as well. If you haven't checked out our 6x6 papers, I highly suggest that you do. The awesome thing about it is that they basically are backgrounds already created for you. So of course, we all love to stencil and create our own backgrounds. But pattern papers can come in really handy when you're short on time, or if you're needing a little bit of extra inspiration, or there's lots of reasons to use pattern papers. But our pattern papers are beautiful. They're very high quality paper. So I think that you guys will love our pattern papers if you've never checked them out. Look at how cute those fruits are. So today I'm going to be using the palm trees in my background. We are going like super summery, super tropical vibe today with my card, as flowers have a lovely tropical vibe to them. I think I picked a pretty tropical color palette. So super excited to do that. I do realize that I totally forgot to grab my embossing powder. We are going to heat emboss the images today. So give me just 1 second to grab those and I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. You always think about the things that you think you pull everything and then you realize, oh, I didn't exactly pull everything that I needed. So now I've got that going and we can go ahead and get started stamping. I'm just going to grab my Misty and I will be right back. Okay, and I think my Misty is currently set up for a cling stamp. So let's fix that really quick. We'll get this back in here and get some cardstock in here as well. Now these, I think this stamp would absolutely fit on two-size panel. I do like having just a little bit bigger of a panel. Just for room for the magnet and extra room for taping down. So you can absolutely use a smaller piece of cardstock, but this is kind of my preference, is just to have a little bit more room. All right, so we have got this stamp. Now all of the florals and leafy elements are in one piece so that they will easily align with the stencils and then easily align with the one piece die as well when we go to cut them out. So I am going to do a little bit of, this is just anti-static powder. I am just wiping my surface down so that the embossing powder will only stick where I stamp. And so I'm just going to ink this guy up with some embossing ink. I recently purchased a new embossing pad because I felt like my the actual pad was really worn out and it wasn't inking up as well any longer. So I'm excited to have a fresh new embossing ink pad. Okay, so we are going to just get this stamped. I'm excited about tropical and summery as well. We are finally starting to have consistent warm weather in Minnesota. We had a cool day on Sunday and even a little bit yesterday, but we're definitely more consistently getting warmer weather, which is nice. I like warm weather for about 2 months and then I'm over it. All right. That looks pretty good. I think I'm going to just do one more for good measure. Okay. I think pretty good. So I am going to put this away, or just aside, but I think we're going to do gold pearl today. So I need a little piece of scrap paper here, and we are going to cover this in some gold pearl embossing powder. Okay. Hopefully I have enough left. I may have to refill the bottle and do a little touch up. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm trying not to get embossing powder all over my desk, so I'm trying to be very cautious when I do that. There we go. That covered a little bit better. I think it just didn't have enough embossing powder to reach it. All right. Feeling good about that. So let's get this cleaned up off my desk here. Great. All right. Yeah, I think that I did that without getting too much residue on my desk, which I am pleasantly surprised about. Because normally I make a huge mess. All right, I am going to heat set this. So once I turn my heat gun on, I'm pretty sure Zoom mutes me. So if it goes completely silent, the audio will come back once I'm done. We have good melting point. I think we got that all nice and melted. This is the gold pearl from Wow, and I just love the soft gold tone it gives. Hopefully my camera is showing that fairly well. When I take the photos, you tend to get a little bit better of a look at that lovely soft gold. So now I am notorious for accidentally sticking my thumb in gold pearl lead embossing and ruining it because it hasn't quite set up yet. So I'm just kind of working on getting the warp out of my paper while I let that set before we start ink blending, because I don't want to stick something in it and ruin my embossing. So I'm excited that you guys are excited to see the pattern paper in use. I'm not using a ton of it. I'm just using one piece of it in my background, but it is a great way. It's a great way to have a background that's basically already done for you. So you don't have to stencil it or blend it or stamp it, anything like that. It is pretty much set up for you. All right, I'm going to grab a couple of ink stands and get this set up while I am waiting. Still, those are the wrong way. While I am waiting for these to set, I think we're probably good. Yeah, we are. Okay, we can go ahead and get going on Yes, guys, I love, love, love the gold pearl embossing powder from Wow. And my friend V is the one that or got me started on it. And it's really such a lovely gold. Nice and soft. Perfect for a tropical summery vibe. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the stencils. Now, if you're new to our stencils, we give you a look on the back of the packaging, what it will look like as you layer them together. And then our stencils are all numbered in the upper left corner. Give you a little glare there. And then there are alignment guides in each corner. Now, the alignment guides are there for when you are using them by themselves. So I will forego the alignment guides because I have the heat embossed image here. So instead, I will align to the heat embossed image. So I'm going to take just a minute to get this lined up here. Might have to poke my head in here a little bit. Okay, I feel like that's pretty good there. Oh, I forgot to get tape. And of course, I got it a little off now. Let me fix that. Okay. There we go. Yes, we do. We are big on enabling each other. Taylor and I enable each other. We enable you guys. Other people enable us. It's a circle. Absolutely a circle. Okay, of course. I'm starting with coral reef. I don't think a floral is tropical without coral reef involved. So, all right. So this is the color we are going to start out with today. And I am just going to blend a little deeper, either in the middle of the flower or at the base, just depends. And then blend it out outwards towards the petals, just kind of keeping it a little bit lighter as it blends out towards those petals. Absolutely, Teresa. Yeah, as for inks, we're still crossing our fingers for July, but you never know on that one. So we may have to push, but here's hoping we can still make July work for the new inks. Lighter tones up in those petals here. I know it's such a surprise, me using coral reef. Huh? Very, very surprising. All right. I'm going to wipe this a little bit because I want to wipe any ink residue that might be on that heat embossing. I don't always wipe every time these days, but I do want to wipe off anything that might be on the heat embossing. So there is the start of our flowers. Oh, I should mention, I'm doing the stencils a little bit out of order. So I started with stencil 1. I am switching to stencil 3 because it's the layer in the details of the flowers. And then I'll go 2, 4, and 5. So just a little bit out of order on the stencils today. So just so you're aware. Now, one of the great ways to line up this detail layer. So there are a few flowers in this little bouquet here that aren't colored in yet that you're coloring in with this one. So that's a good reference point. And then this layer here matches the inner part of that flower pretty perfectly. So I'm going to start by lining up those 3 small flowers, and then I'm going to just make some small adjustments to line up the details. And then when I look at it, all of the rest of the flower has um, fallen into place. So basically, as long as the details are not on the outside of the stamped image, you don't run the risk of them getting cut away or looking funny. Um, that is what I found the easiest for lining up this stencil here. So we're going to just go the next shade up, which is passion fruit. Now, I am not completely sure what color I used last on my red brush. So I want to give you guys a little tip. This is just rubbing alcohol that I get at Target. I think it's like 70%. And just in case I used candy apple, I am going to just do a quick clean on this brush because I don't want too deep of a red to come through. So rubbing this on a little bit of alcohol helps get any excess ink, but it's perfectly dry and I can use it immediately. So I just wanted to do that little clean just in case I had used candy apple or berrylicious last with this red brush. And I don't want to have that deep of a red for these flowers. Oh, I'm glad you guys like my lining up tips. We try to incorporate that when we're doing lives. Just because sometimes it's a little hard to see where they might line up if you're not, you didn't design the product, so it's completely acceptable that you might not see it the same way. Favorite, I have never had the alcohol harm the brush. No, so so far so good. Heather is exactly right on the whole ink thing. We don't promise. We're fingers crossed, hoping for July for our new colors, but things do happen. So here's hoping that we are able to do that in July. All right, I'm going to do the quick wipe down. Get anything that might be left over on my embossing ink there, and let's take a look at the flower details. Now, how fun is that? So these are quite vibrant. They'll smooth out and calm down a little bit after the ink has a chance to really set in and basically dye the paper is essentially what it's trying to do. Okay, so we're moving back basically to stencil number 2. And this is where we're going to do a little bit of dual tone ink blending. Ooh, throwing things around over here. I want to have both aqua and green leaves, and I want them to be dual toned. There's done this in the past, and I just thought that these tropical looking flowers would be perfect for this technique. Okay, so we've got that taped down. I'm going to start with aquamarine first. And we are just going to blend aqua first, pretty much all over the leaves. Not worried too much about gradation because I'm going to achieve gradation by adding the next color in. So Jerry is asking how I organize my brushes. So Jerry, our brushes, the ones that we offer, so this one right now is currently missing the brush I'm using, but they come in these handy dandy little boxes like this. And so I'm actually leaving them in their boxes. I have 2 sets for light colors and 2 sets for every other color that I use. So I like to have a set of lone for just the lightest pastel shade, so you keep the integrity of that shade. But for the rest of them, I feel like I can just buff the ink out. And these just fit really nicely in the drawers I have for my desk. So I just keep them in their box like this and store them like this. So I know there's lots of other ways to store blending brushes, but for the ones that we offer, we kind of give you a storage case for them. And that's how I keep them. So I love that little box. I think it's adorable. And it fits really perfectly in my drawers for my desk. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit. Okay. You're welcome. We love sharing all of our tips and the way that we store things and do things. If it can help someone, better organize or find their product better, we're all for that. Okay, so the Monstera leaf here, I think that's how you say that. That little piece right there, it's a little wiggly. So I am going to blend towards the bottom first and hold my finger over it. And now I'm going to blend and kind of get the rest in there. So just keep in mind that one is a little bit wiggly. You could always use a little bit of spray glue, whatever that is called. I'm totally blanking it now, but I don't mind. I just kind of hold it down. I think we're going to end up coloring that part with some darker ink anyway, once we get to one of the next stencils. So not super worried about that. Okay. So now we are going to come in with Emerald City. Buff out some of that aqua ink. So now we're going to come in with Emerald City. And I am just going to blast some Emerald City just at the base of each leaf. And just give it a little bit of gradation here. These ones are teeny, so I don't need to do too much on these guys. A little bit at the base here. You know what? The boxes really truly are one of the funnest things about brushes are amazing. The box is such a fun aspect of it. Okay. All right. Do this on this final little leaf up here. And all right, let's just add this little bit of excess ink that I have on my stencil so I don't waste it. Okay. All right, because we have that little flimsy part, I'm not going to wipe this one. So I'm going to just go ahead and remove it. And look how fun gradation is with adding Emerald City in there. I just love it. Okay, so we are on to stencil 4. We are going to be blending in some greenery we haven't blended yet. We also have some flower middles here. So this one has some different colors that we're going to be using. So thankfully with these small brushes, I really don't feel the need to do any masking, but we're going to start off with the greenery because I have those currently in my ink stand. I'll pull out the middles here shortly. Let's go ahead and do the second set of greenery that we have here. Just blending these with some aquamarine. And then I'm actually going to switch out the aquamarine for Mermaid Cove. And I'm going to blend in the middle of that big leaf here. I've already used Aqua and Emerald City on it. And so I want to make this detail a little deeper. And then I'm going to come in and do these a little bit. And then finally, with this leaf here, went a little wild on that because I did not buff it off. So I'm going to clean. It was not smart, but thankfully I didn't get my my flower middle. So I think we're good. Those are just going to be quite bold leaves, which is they'll settle down a little bit too once they dry. And then I'm just going to take off Emerald City, grab the passion fruit, and we are going to get those flower middles put it in as well. Since I'm not really worried about gradation, it's about getting some color in there. In the end, these may have jewels on them. So it may be a moot point even doing it, but I'll do it just in case I don't put jewels. All right, so there we have our next set. And actually that turned out really lovely. It's a little bit darker than the other leaves, which I think just helps give it more interest. Now, finally, we are on the final stencil. And this is just a little bit more detail in the greenery. So this one, there's not really a good anchor point for where to put it. So basically kind of follow those, the veins that are blended, or excuse me, heat embossed. And as long as you get these ones within the leaves and they're not on the outside, you should be good to go. So for these ones, I'm going to use Emerald City to do the final blending. Make sure I dab off because Emerald City is quite vivid. And can I just tell you guys how much I'm really loving Emerald City mixed with the aquas? I don't think I've ever actually used these before, but it's possible Heather has, and that might be where I drew the inspiration from on this one. And I am really loving how they look together. I think that they complement each other beautifully. Okay, I'm gonna put some brushes away real quick. Just give me some. Put these guys away. All right, let's do a little wipe down. And then we're on to our final reveal for our flowers. And look at how fun those turned out. I think that they're super fun. I think with that gold embossing, it makes them just warm and super fun and summery. You guys, I'm glad you're liking the colors here. All right. So there is that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to just set the stencils aside. I'll clean them off a little bit more extensively once I end the live stream today. But it's okay if the ink stays on there a little bit. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to grab cardstock and we're going to stamp our sentiment real quick. Sorry about that. I just had to grab my little mini Misty here. Just some scrap paper. And we are going to grab the sentiment from the stamp set that says Hey Sunshine. It is, I think that's just like perfect for this card. I think I'm gonna stamp it in black today because I really do want it to pop off of the card today. And so much of the card is very light. So I think stamping it in black will help it really pop off of the card today. So I'm not going to heat emboss it in gold because I feel like it'll just get a little lost on the card. So I'm going to stamp it in some detail black. This is a really dainty sentiment. Oop, and I can see I smeared it a little bit. So I'm going to just dry wipe this and try again because I see that I smeared that kind of. And I don't want any smearing to happen when I stamp it. Okay, so I'm a big fan of just barely kissing the surface of your stamp and then stamping it a couple of times to get a good impression, but also keeping the daintiness and the integrity of the sentiment. Ooh, I am not sure what happened there, but it got a little thick there. So we're gonna just redo this. I'm wondering if I overfilled my ink cube. I think that might be what is going on here. So I may need to press some ink out of this cube when the live is over. So I may stick to just stamping once. Yeah, and calling it good. Okay. So there we have our sentiment. Now, this is stamp cleaner, friends, not rubbing alcohol. And I am going to just add a little bit of stamp clean to that. And I'm going to brush this sentiment as clean as I can get it. Wipe it down. I'll probably clean it again. At least we got quite a bit of residue off initially here. Okay, so how about we do some die cutting now? Let's go ahead and grab the die set. So in the die set, it's a 2-piece. So you've got the big die that cuts out all of the elements. And then there is a die for this sentiment as well, the Hey Sunshine die. So we're going to use those. And I'm also going to cut a few extras of the sentiment so that I can pop it up. We have a little bit more die cutting to do after this, but we'll get to that. But let's go ahead and get these all cut out first. Okay, couple pieces of tape here. Yes. So Teresa, I don't use the toothbrushes that you can get at the dentist because I use an electric toothbrush, but I don't take one every time. But if I am needing a new cleaning tool, I'll grab the one from my dentist and I use it to detail clean and clean stamps. The ones at my dentist are very soft toothbrushes, so they won't damage stamps at all. Okay, let's line up here. Feel pretty good about that lineup. So then I'm going to go ahead and tape it down. Oh, of course, I'm moving it. I'm going to tape it down nice and secure. And I will be right back after I run this through my die cut machine. And then you'll see we had to just line up that one die and all of it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 6 pieces are cut out nice and beautifully. I've got to find my little tool here. There are just things across my desk here. There are a couple of just little inner chads. Looks like this one left behind. Looks like the other ones maybe stayed in the die itself. So got these little pad pieces. One stayed behind. There we go. And then we have the floral pieces are all cut out, the florals and the leaves. So now let's go ahead and cut out the sentiment here. And I'm going to cut the sentiment out and cut a couple more layers as well. Thanks, Cheryl. Glad you like my colors. Look at how fun that is when it's all out. I love the dies that we've started including for our sentiments. So now, one thing I'm going to do, because I think we have the time, is I'm going to cut a few more layers. Must have had a little ink on me. I'm going to cut a few more layers so that I can stack them and give the sentiment a little bit more. And one more. Libra, I'm in the same book. I could never fussy cut. I could never fussy cut these. Oh, Kathy is asking about my stamp cleaning. So we have the recipe for the stamp cleaner on our FAQ page under stamping related questions. So you can find it there. Okay, I think we're good to go on that. So I'm going to put dies away real quick. And grab the rest of the remaining items that we need to die cut. I did go ahead and pre-cut the panel, the palm tree panel, the background that we're going to use, which I just used our largest stitch rectangle. And I actually did cut the first 2 layers of the ornate circle, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut it the third and final layer for you guys, because I want to show you how amazing this cuts out with the bubble mailer technique. So this is a really intricate die and it's in 2 pieces, and I like to cut the 2 pieces together, which makes it even a little bit harder to cut when it's a more intricate die. But when you layer it, so you just put your bubble mailer piece underneath the die itself, and I'm going to make sure it fits within my die cutting plates here, and then just go ahead and die cut. I'm going to show you how perfectly it pops out all of the pieces. So give me just 1 minute. And your die cut machine does make some funny noises when it runs through your machine with the bubble mailer, but this one even actually kind of cut into the bubble mailer. But look at this. Look at how much gets left behind, and I don't have to pop out any of those extra pieces in there. So I need this piece, and then really the rest of the ones that got left behind, just give a small little whack. This one's kind of stuck in some tape, I think, but you can give that a small whack and the rest of them will come out unless they're stuck to tape. And you are done. You can go ahead and toss your bubble mailer pieces and you are done. So Avra, I think it's best if you cut into outer layer of the bubble mailer, not the inner part. I think that is what helps grab those pieces. One thing I will mention though, if you're trying to cut just a more intricate die that's like a real thin die, I would use a plastic bubble mailer. If you try to cut a more intricate die into a paper sided bubble mailer, it kind of sticks. So I reserve the paper mailers for dies more like this, where there's a lot of inner pieces, like a cover plate or a shape that has a lot of inner pieces. And then I use the plastic bubble mailers for like thin, intricate dies, like those tiny little bows and ribbons that we have. So that's kind of what I found is the best use for both options there. Okay, so now we're going to get a little boring here because we're going to do some gluing and stacking together. So it's got to get done though. So we can chat while I stack and glue some of these die cut layers together. Yeah, so I did try using the plastic bubble mailers once on a die a little bit more like this, or maybe it was one of our cover plate dies. And I didn't love it as much as the paper mailers, but then I did the vice versa. I cut a really intricate thin die on a paper bubble mailer, like a paper outer bubble mailer, and it like stuck to it. So each type has its use. And it just took a little bit of troubleshooting to find out what I prefer each one for. think this is a little clogged. I have not crafted a lot lately. So I think my oh, bottle is a little clog in it. Okay. We have our sentiment stacked. So let's go ahead and stack our sun layers, or this is the Ornate Circle die, but I think it kind of looks like the sun. I think it looks at least like very pretty. Now this is, there's a little piece left behind here. That guy. Nope, that's not one. Okay. This is Ivory Glitter cardstock. I typically get this at Michael's. It's their Recollections brand. I think it looks more champagne than ivory, and it's one of my favorite glittery glitter cardstocks. Okay, let's get this glued together. This, I'm just gonna, not gonna be too worried about being too precise. If I just get some glue in there, it should be fine. And I am protecting my paper, my surface with some scrap paper. So this can just go right into the garbage when we're done. Okay. And this one you have to make sure you line up the right sides. I accidentally lined up the right sides before. It looks a little funny. Basically, you just make sure these two tips are lined up. The rest of it's fine. But I think once I just was not thinking straight, and I tried lining up like one of these and it just didn't work. This didn't work as well as lining up these two here. You're welcome. I'm glad to be able to share that information with you guys too about the bubble mailers. Just because I was late to adopting the whole bubble mailer thing too. And it really truly is, it's a really nice change for die cutting. I always felt like the metal shim really put a lot of wear and tear on my die cut machine, and I don't feel like this does it. I did have to do some troubleshooting, and I got a little frustrated with the bubble mailers not working exactly how I wanted them with different steps. So I am happy to share what I have found works best for me. And maybe you won't have the same experience as me. Maybe that's how my die cut machines pressure and such are. But for me, that's just a nice rule of thumb of what works the best. Okay. Ava, I'm not sure if you're talking about this die. I love this die. I think it is so stunning. It's one of my favorite circle dies that we have. It's definitely very ornate, thus the name. The name is Ornate Circle. And I just think it's so lovely. Okay. I have two card bases picked out here. I have a pink and a white because I'm not completely sure what color I want to use. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with pink. Oh yeah, it has a super nice beach vibe. Definitely going with the pink on this one. Oh. You, however, want to pop this up, and I didn't create one of these little panels before going live. I didn't have time. So we're going to create it together really quickly. And I want a full panel of foam adhesive for the background paper. So I make my own. This is just white craft foam. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it at craft stores. I think you can even find it at places like Walmart and such. Don't quote me on that because I don't actually know, but I think you can. I just get mine either at Michael's or Amazon. And then this is 5-inch score tape. And my panels are cut to 3.75 by 5. And so they mat perfectly within an A2 panel. And it's just a nice cost-effective way of having a nice big piece of foam tape for your card. So like I mentioned, this is the Sunshine on My Mind. This is the 6x6 paper pad. I love the palm trees. I thought they would be a lovely backdrop to our flowers. There's a really lovely stripe. This would have been lovely as well. But I'm kind of going full summer vibes on this card. So going with palm trees, and then this will be on here, and we'll tuck that in there for the sentiment to have something to, it's going to be great. Oh, Betty, you're welcome. And I hope that this gives you some inspiration for using the die. It's such a great die. I don't think I've used it live in a while, so I'm happy to have pulled it out today. And I think it just matches my summer vibe perfectly, with the fact that it looks like it looks like the sunshine almost. Okay, here we go. All right, now let's go ahead and glue this guy down to the front. Yes. Yeah, in general, foam tape and adhesive foam is a little pricey. Oh, I am sticking my fingers in glue. Give me a second to wipe that off. That was dumb. Yeah, and I've been doing it this way for a while. It's really cost effective to do it this way. Okay, let's go ahead and let's just center the circle a little bit. Okay, and I'm gonna grab this big block and we're gonna set it on here. Hold it, stay down. While we do that, I am just going to fluff my flowers a little bit, give them a little bit of dimension. Not sure if I'll use them all or not on this card, but we will see. Makes you think of flamingos. That's funny. Yeah, I guess the colors are kind of flamingo-y on this card. Okay. A little fluffing here. Should be good. Right, and now I can just go ahead and pop that in the middle. Well, I mean, I always, maybe I'm not going to pop in the middle. Maybe I'm going to leave so that the palm trees stick out. I'm not sure. I'm having a hard time with this one. So this guy definitely needs to go up here. Decisions. We'll see. I'm going to just start. I may not end up using this guy. We'll see. I'm liking how that looks though, right there. So trying to decide if I want to leave the palm tree sticking out or if I want to cover it with the white here. Let's see. You know what? I think I actually really like palm trees peeking out. So I'm gonna go away from this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave this. We'll just put this in my scrap pile because I think I dig palm trees kind of sticking out behind the sentiment. So we're gonna leave it like that. But I did like my little floral arrangement I had going here. So let's get that back in place here. There we go. Perfect. We'll see about this guy. Throwing on a little bit of glue here. Don't want this to be too much off guard. Some adjustments to the sentiment if I need to. There we go. I like that. Thank you guys. Yeah, I think that the palm trees, because they have the white background, I think they don't end up being too much for the big flowers. So I think that they ended up working out pretty well. Okay. Here. Need the glue to set a little bit here. Okay. We'll do this leaf first. Oh, I actually didn't make the pattern paper. Oh, this actually is from our Sunshine on My Mind paper collection. So this actually is pattern paper. It's from the 6x6 paper pad. And this guy, just kind of in here. Oh. Right, so let's see here. Tuck that guy there. Still not sure if I'm going to use this little tyke here. Ooh, actually, I kind of like it right there. I am going to use them all. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect little addition right in there. Okay. Get this glue set up here. And we'll just tuck the sentiment in here. Oh, thanks, guys. Glad you're enjoying it. Make sure that's not crooked. Stop going on me here, friends. Like it's a little crooked. I gotta look at it straight on. There you go. Sometimes you just can't look at it from an angle and know. May have to add some reinforcement glue in here. It keeps moving on me, but I'll do that once the live stream is over. So finally, we're going to add just a couple of jewels in here. We're not going to go too crazy because there's already kind of a lot going on this card. But I do want to add a couple of jewels. I want to let you guys know that our Ombre glitter drops are back in stock. Finally, we're so excited. We had a shipment, just some shipment drama on those ones. So we are happy to say that our Ombre glitter drops are back in stock. And I am going to use the Sparkle and Shine glitter drops, which are technically gold and silver, but I think they look a little bit more like gold and white. So I am okay with using them on this card today, which is more warm toned. All of these glitter drops are sticking to me because I think I have gluey fingers. All right. Grab this here. Okay. Let's start in the smaller sizes. There we go. Little guy there. There we go. Little guy here. And maybe like that. Right, so then grab this bigger one. Sent in here. And then let's accent here. And I need to flip one more small one over. Maybe I can do that with my gluey fingers. And then we'll do one Maybe one up here. There we go. Let's check this way a little closer. Flowers. All right. I think I am pleased with that. You know what? I actually might prefer this one a little bit more on the outskirts. Nope. Nope. It looks better in here. Okay. Perfect. Does kind of have destination wedding vibes, doesn't it, Julie? I kind of agree with you on that one. Right. Get this down a little bit closer to me so I can get these all glued into place. And then I think I'm going to have to let this card sit a bit with some extra glue to make sure everything stays glued down when we're done. It's got a lot going on. It's got a lot of layers on it. So, okay. Well, that, friends, is my card for today. And look at that. I'm landing the ship, landing the plane, whatever. Or that so saying is right on time. I hope that you guys liked my summer themed tropical vibe card today. I'm excited with how it turned out. I had an idea in my head, and you just never know if those are actually going to come to fruition. But I would say today that it was a success. All right, I'm going to flip the camera around. We are going to wait for Heather to pick a winner. I will let you guys go for the day. Let me just get my video switched. Give me 1 second here. Make sure I'm picking the right thing. There we are. I have too many cameras set up. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm glad that I could give you some ideas for using patterned paper. They really are lovely in backgrounds, and they are great for card making too. I know we have all of these great products for creating our own backgrounds and such, but sometimes it's nice to have it done for you. Sometimes there are things that can only be achieved in a pattern paper that like a stencil and that can't do. So I'm excited that I gave some inspiration on that. Okay, so we have our winner. Congratulations to Flora Velez. You are today's $15 gift card code winner. So congratulations. Heather's given you all of the information you need to claim your gift, but just to let you know, send me an email. My email is leah@pinkfreshstudio.com. There's no H on the end of my name, so just LEA, pinkfreshstudio.com. And I will give me about 2 to 3 business days to get back to you with code, because I do get quite a few emails each day. So congratulations. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm glad you were here. And if you're watching on replay, hey, and super glad you're able to catch the replay as well. So other than that, we have scrapbooking live on Thursday with Natalie. Kathleen is on a little bit of vacation right now. So Natalie is subbing in. So you'll get to see Natalie. We give away a $15 gift card code on the scrapbooking lives too. So even if you're not a scrapbooker, one thing that I always feel is you can garner inspiration from anything. And our scrapbooking team does really amazing projects. So check that out. Come hang out with us. And you can also enter to win a gift card and not live too. The 5-inch wide tape is, this is just score tape. It is 5 inches. I typically get it on Amazon. Sometimes from the company directly, which I think is Score Pal. Don't quote me on that, but I think that is. So that's what I use for creating my foam, my big pieces of foam. All right, guys. Well, hopefully we'll see you on Thursday. And then we will be back next week with our combined live. I forgot to mention this at the beginning. We had to push our June release by a week. So we were going to be doing a combined live today, but instead will be next Tuesday. So you'll get to join me and Heather next week for a combined sneak peek of our June release. Other than that, you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday, and hopefully we'll see you on Thursday, same time, same place.